Are you ready to learn to get rid of stress in your life? To learn how to deal with the emotional turmoil that causes strokes, heart attacks, bad health, and even weight gain? Life-changing habits for work, family, and everyone you deal with start here with Andrew Wittman. It's time to get warrior tough. Here's Andrew Wittman and Dutch Coleman.
All right. It is time to get warrior tough, the most monumental hour in media anywhere. We're your leadership and mental toughness coaches, Andrew Wittman and the Dutch Coleman.
Happy Valentine's Day. I guess we're a day later, but this is Valentine's week. I think for most people, it never ends. So
I love you, Dutch.
In your house, is it Valentine's week? Does it start like that Sunday and then like the rest of the week?
It's like a month, man. I'll tell you. So yesterday, Valentine's Day, the kids came downstairs, and my wife, she did, Kimmy, she does all that stuff. So she had little gift bags for them, and my little girl, she had those chocolate-covered strawberries for my little girl, and then she made these big cookies, which you have had her cookies before, Dutch.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
Right, so but they were big giant cookies, like the size of like dinner plates. No, they weren't that big, but they were saucers. And what she does is she does these chocolate chip cookies or whatever, and then she puts ice cream in between the two of them and sprinkles on the top and makes homemade ice cream sandwiches. It's just ridiculous.
Nice.
Ridiculous.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Anyway, I don't eat any. I'm not eating that, but the kids loved it, and, it's all good.
Yeah, we don't have any Valentine's Day traditions here. My wife was on the road and had a basketball game yesterday. And so we didn't really have like a Valentine's Day, which is typical. I mean, we're so busy. We'll make it up another time. So we don't really have any Valentine's traditions. But the kids, man, getting them ready for school yesterday on Valentine's and getting them where they take the kids, their classmates to the treats and all that stuff. That's always a task. You got to fill out the little cards from Dutch to each one of the classmates and, all of them. I have three little ones, so they're all doing it. Did he do
superhero cards? Dutch did superhero cards. Little Dutch, right? Did he do superheroes?
Yes, this year he did. Oh, goodness. Now, you would ask me. I can't even remember now because I did three different ones. So there was always like the princess ones for Mick. Hello Kitty and like all that. Right. I think it was the Avengers. I think it was the Avengers. It's always that stuff from year to year. It changes. I think last year was Spider-Man for Dutch, and then it's always Princess or Hello Kitty or somebody for the other one. So
for the girls, that's awesome. Man.
Yeah,
that's good stuff. That's so good. Yeah, I remember all that, man. I remember it. All my kids are all, they're out of that stage now. They're eating ice cream sandwiches, homemade ice cream sandwiches now. We're not doing the cards. It's all good.
I love it. I don't get as excited about it as I used to. You know how life gets you looking at so many other different things. You're trying to make sure it was pajama day for him yesterday, so I was making sure he was, insulated correctly and all that. So I'm more concerned about that stuff than the treats and all that.
Yeah, well,
making sure he doesn't freeze to death up here. And
I know, dude. I watched your Snapchat. It was like snowing and stuff. I was like, "Hey, it's 80 down here," and you're like, "Shut it." But
we did have a heat wave today. I think it got to mid 40s.
Oh, very nice. All right, so you wanted to talk about like Valentine's. You wanted to talk about like kind of like harmonious relationships in the light of Valentine's Day this week. Is that?
Yeah. I thought it'd be great to talk about that. With it being Valentine's week, a lot of people were focused on relationships, and a lot of people were focused on making people happy with the gifts and all that. But a lot of times it's just focused around that one day. Right. That one moment. And of course we want it to be better than that. We want you to build a relationship based on more than just that one day, that 14th of February that comes once a year. We want to make sure that our folks out there are doing the things they need to do to ensure that you're celebrating as many February 14th with the same person as possible. Not a different person every February 14th. But so we wanted to touch on some of the things that we teach that apply directly to ensuring that. So I thought it'd be interesting because we do teach a lot of things, man, that helps you in different aspects of your life, relationships being one of the biggest.
Yeah, and you asked me this question. You said, how important do you think folks is it to make the other person happy? How important do most people think that to make the other person happy? How important is that And then is that important enough for you to override, ignore your own feelings, and then hit the target of making the other person? And and this is the whole thing with Valentine's Day, and it's not, you and I were talking earlier, it's not just enough to love somebody. It's not enough. They have to not just know it, but they have to feel it on a daily basis. Now, Kimmy and I, we've been married 28 years, coming up on our 28th anniversary next week. I know she was like 4 when I married her, but we're coming up with 28 years. It would be like me saying, I love you at the altar and telling her, hey, listen, baby, if anything changes, I'll let you know. And then I never expressed love towards her again. And after 28 years, she's like, do you love me? I'm like, hey, listen, I told you 28 years ago that if anything changed, I'd let you know. I haven't told you anything, so it must be good. Like, that is not going to work, right, Dutch? I mean, that's just crazy talk.
No, and as crazy as it sounds, I mean, there are a lot of people existing in that, man. There are a lot of people who are doing just that, and it's sad they do that. They tell each other they love them, and they call themselves being a part of this relationship, and there's no affirmation, there's no reaffirming of it daily, weekly, monthly. It's just you kind of just said it that one time, and you think that's enough, or it's okay, and that the other person is supposed to make some assumptions. And when I told you that one time last year,
yeah, I gave you flowers on Valentine's Day. What do you want?
Yeah, or even your daily actions. I mean, things that you're doing daily that don't relate directly to you verbally telling somebody that you care, but your actions, how you're doing things, what you're saying to them each day, how you're behaving, how you're responding to them, all these different things matter. And a lot of times, man, many of us aren't taking care of those things.
Right, and so we one of our deals is CEO of you, right? So we take complete control of our mind, body, and emotions, and that our mind would run the boardroom and not let the emotions of the body take over. I guess I could say it like this: is that our emotions, and I'll say, if you want to have a great relationship, your own how you are feeling is not really relevant to the target of making the other person feel loved, making the other person happy. And if that's your target, how you feel, like, I had a bad day, so you come home and you yell at your spouse because they're the ones that are in the line of fire because you don't feel like you could yell at the boss or your coworkers because you would get in trouble, so you come home and you take it out on them. Listen, that if your target is to have a happy, fulfilled, satisfying relationship, then how you're feeling, it really is not relevant, and your mind needs to take over the boardroom, and how they're feeling is what's relevant in the relationship. And if you point it in that direction, things will usually work out a whole lot better if I understand that the whole deal is how I make the other person feel in the relationship. And it's Valentine's Day, so we'll say it like this. They're always talking about the law of attraction. What is it that makes somebody attracted to somebody else? People are like, well, they're good looking. You're like, no, the reason you're attracted to somebody, and this is the scientific law of attraction, not that other crazy one, whatever it is, where right. I, wish upon a star or whatever. The reason that we find someone else attractive is because they make us feel good about ourselves. That's why we're attracted to somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's it. It's just that simple. I mean, and if you think about it, you'll get it. And that's with most things. We always talk about when someone makes you, when we say someone is arrogant, it's how they make you feel.
Yeah.
About yourself, like what are they saying or doing? But it's really all about you, right? So The same thing when you're attracted to someone else, it's really all about you. It's really all about how
exactly
they make you feel. So contrary to popular belief, like you said, about the looks, about their muscles, and all these different things, that's the core of it. And I like how you said when you point yourself in that direction of wanting that to happen, because it is a physical thing as much as it's a mental thing. There are actually physical things that you're going to do to make those things happen, along with the mental stuff. I mean, it's work. These are actionable things that you have to do to make these things happen.
Yeah, and I would like to use a term and to show my wife that I love her, for her to make her feel that way. I literally worship her. People are like, oh, you shouldn't, no. And if you understand what the word worship means is that I show love and affection in 3 ways. When I can show it by gifts, That's with the flowers, right, and the card and all that. So I'm showing that. Then there's praise, where I'm telling her with words how much I love her. And then here's the one that you should do all year round, not just on Valentine's Day. I love you, baby, had the flowers. This is the one that gets everyone, is acts of service. Like doing the dishes after dinner, she cooks for you and you clean up. Or you cook for her, right, and clean up. Or vacuum, or fold the clothes, or any of those acts of service, just holding the door open for her when she gets in the car. You know, and I know we're saying it from the male perspective, but I know that she loves me when she does the same stuff for me. Like when I come home, she cooks the dinner and then cleans up, and she folds the clothes and puts them away, and then she makes sure all the kids are. You know, these things are the things that show me during the. I'll say it, the actions speak louder than what, Dutch?
Words.
Right.
And
we
got a minute left.
We got.
Yeah, we got a minute left. I got a ton of these that we can jump on. But we can carry over into the next segment. But you're absolutely right. These are actionable things. That's the key. They're actionable things that you need to be doing, physically doing.
Yeah, and not just the easy, 1-800, bouquet or whatever it is, or 1-800-roses, and the Hallmark card, and I took you out to dinner. Like,
right.
Hey, this is stuff that you should be right. So we're up on the break. You're listening to the Get Warrior Tough radio show with Dutch and Andrew. We'll be right back.